Howdy y'all, my name is Riley Rhodes, and this is my Psychology and Film project for Psych 107, Section 500. So today I'm going to be talking about the film People Say I'm Crazy. This movie was extremely interesting to me because it's the first movie about schizophrenia that was also made by somebody with schizophrenia. It dives into the life of John Cadigan, who lived with schizophrenia, and it was interesting because he's also the director for this movie, which I thought was very impressive. So John Cadigan, he was diagnosed with schizophrenia when he was 21 years old, and he was a student at Carnegie Mellon University. The Mayo Clinic describes schizophrenia as a serious mental disorder in which people interpret reality abnormally. Schizophrenia may result in some combination of hallucinations, delusions, and extremely disordered thinking and behavior that impairs daily functioning and can be disabling. So, in this film, there was a cultural context that could have impacted his diagnosis, and that was that he was a college student. And when you're a college student, you have to interact with other students, and you have to be social, and you have to get out of your shell. And this could have definitely kick-started his symptoms for schizophrenia, and therefore it could have sped up the process of being diagnosed with schizophrenia. In general, I do think that schizophrenia can be diagnosed in all cultures. However, I definitely think that it can be diagnosed more in cultures that are more social and interactive. So, John Cadigan showed a lot of symptoms for schizophrenia, the first one being paranoia. He thought that he was hated because of how his sheets were made. So his roommate, his sheets were made very tight and clean and nice, and his were wrinkled. So he thought that that meant he was hated. Another example was he was at an event and everybody had a name tag except for him. He thought that that was their way of saying that he was hated and not wanted, and that's not true, but that's paranoia, and that's a symptom of schizophrenia. Another symptom that he showed was depression. He was harming himself, and he got really down because of the symptoms that he had to live with. He was told that he had at least another 20 years till his symptoms started to die down, and that really made him depressed. The last symptom that he showed was that he was extremely antisocial. He went to his brother's wedding, and because of that, he had to interact with a lot of people, and that was extremely hard for him. It was doable, but you could really tell that he was uncomfortable with it. He was pacing around, and he just seemed extremely out of place. There was a symptom of schizophrenia that John Cadigan did not show, and that was disfigured speech. Many people with schizophrenia will have mumbled words or jumbled sentences that don't make sense. However, John Cadigan spoke really well. He spoke in front of hundreds of people about his artwork, and although he was nervous about the amount of people, the talking aspect was not hard for him at all. So his treatment. There are 3 treatments that he got, the first one being second-generation antipsychotic drugs. So these drugs really help with the neurological side effects, such as paranoia. However, there are also downsides to it, such as weight gain and also possible issues with white blood cell count. Because of this, he had to get counseling for the weight gain, and then he also had to get his blood drawn every week to keep track of his white blood cell count. Another treatment that he got was electroconvulsive treatment. This has mood-lifting effects, so it was supposed to help with his depression. However, it didn't really work, so he stopped doing it. And then the last treatment that he did was antidepressants and mood stabilizers, which are for helping with depression that come with schizophrenia. So I thought that this was very interesting. While John was really struggling with his schizophrenia, he really dove into his artwork, and he became really well known for it, and he's actually extremely talented with it. He got into filmmaking, and he also got into wood carving, which is what this is. It's a stamp from wood carving, which I thought was amazing. So in this film, John thought it was really important to show what it was like to live with schizophrenia because he explains that it is a very misunderstood disease, and he really wanted to spread awareness for it. In general, I think it's very important for films to show an accurate depiction of mental disorders. Because movies are what society goes to get views on everything, and especially mental disorders. So I think it's bad for mental disorders to be exaggerated or put under a light that it shouldn't be put under. And I think it's important for mental disorders to be accurate in all films. And yeah, that was my psychology and film project. Thank you so much.